It's me. It is almost time, and we're going to do actually something really different today. So bear with me, and I'm going to set a timer for 20 minutes. We're going to do something a little bit different. Stay with me though. If you want to do the 20 minutes with your eyes closed and do it silently, turn your speaker down. I don't know how that's going to work, because how will you know that it's over? I don't know. But I really wanted to try something different today. So, a 20-minute timer. Let me do that right here. The 20-minute timer's going. And I want to talk today. I want to talk about compassion. I'll fix my camera in a second, so you can see me and what I'm writing. I want to talk about compassion. There we go. For whom do we have compassion? Well, we have compassion when we see suffering. Compassion is that our bodies, our senses, our thoughts, we can empathize. It's a crazy thing that, well, humans and most animals can do, is they get a sense of how each other are. And when we perceive suffering, it awakens something within us. Often it's two different things. Hi, Joe. Get the camera work. There we go. We see suffering. And when we see suffering, I don't really mind that that this is being delivered slowly and not as one just giant thought. So we see suffering and we feel it. We feel the suffering. We feel the suffering of other people. I can't look at like gory things because I feel it. I could look at gory things. I rather not. We see suffering and we try to avoid it. Well, there's another way of dealing with suffering, which is being with it. Calm means with. Spanish and in Latin, con, with, passion. Passion doesn't mean today what it used to. Passion used to mean suffering. The passion of the Christ. That's how I learned what the word passion used to be used for. Mel Gibson didn't make a movie about Jesus being all filled with fun and passion and that kind of aliveness. He talked about being with the suffering. So, suffering's going to happen. We can do our best to avoid suffering, but it's still going to happen. So what do we do so that we're not in the other person's suffering, but we're with them? And I think what we can do is we can learn to sit in it, which is what all these meditations have been about. That's why I've been meditating. Why I've been doing this with my eyes closed, meditating, is because when you meditate, hold on, I'm going to get all the rest of the crap off of this screen. Can I do that? Copy that. There. Oh, I reset the clock though. I'll fix that. Let me get rid of all these things. There we go. We see suffering. We want to avoid it. What time were we supposed to be done? At 2:20. So let me change this clock. There we go. That's close enough. And today it is not a 20-minute unguided meditation. It is a talk about compassion. We see suffering. We want to avoid it naturally. We don't enjoy being in suffering. But we can sit with the suffering. Maybe that's a better word than sitting in the suffering. We can sit with the suffering. We can. And how do you learn to do that? I guess that's the big question. How do we learn to sit in suffering? It's not fucking rocket science. You practice. You practice. And best practice with where your learning part is. Like if you are if a paper cut blows your lid, practice with paper cuts. Practice sitting in suffering. I'm not saying seek suffering out. But be okay with it when it happens and don't just run away. And maybe that's where you're at. Maybe you're at the point where you need to just realize that you're running away from suffering. And forgive yourself for that. That makes sense. Like, give someone the option. Hey, would you like to sit in suffering or would you rather run away? It seems like run away is the right answer. But we don't end our suffering by running away from it. We end suffering by being with it. Be with someone else's suffering helps them. Let me put it this way. Might be a little tangent. Trigger word coming. Trauma. Trauma is when something was disrupted and there wasn't any repair. Trauma is suffering without repair. Trauma is suffering without repair. What happens if compassion comes in? When people face trauma, if someone's compassionate, if somebody's suffering, and a friend reaches out and sits with them in it, the compassion brings repair. How do we deal with suffering? You can learn from it. That's it. I thought this was going to take the whole 20 minutes. It didn't. I'm going to sit for the next 11 minutes. That's what I think learning how to meditate, learning how to sit is all about. Is learning how to sit through uncomfortable feelings and just sitting through. Love and compassion. Do me a favor. If you watched this and you liked it, would you uptick it on whatever social media you're on? I appreciate it.
Meditation helps people gain clarity and calm, but the instructions on how to meditate are often constricting, confusing, boring, well, they suck. I'm Rabbi Brian Zachary Mayer, and this is Meditation is Magic. Join as I teach Stallion and Dragon a bit about mindfulness and the 4-letter secret to meditation. Have you ever thought, I wish meditation were as simple as magic? Now it is. Meditation is Magic.
Meditation is Magic is parental advisory explicit content. Teens make certain to advise your parents. I want to learn meditation with Meditation is Magic. It's explicit, fancy word for fear. Also, the horse dropped the F-bomb.